register at the polling unit to which your name is assigned, and you have to present yourself at that polling unit and present your voter card at that same polling unit for you to be able to vote. Now, that's not INEC's making. Those are the things that INEC have been provided with to work with, and that's what we are working with. So what that means is that except you have transferred your data, you will have to vote where you have your name as at the moment. And so if you have moved from where you registered and you have your name and your card has been issued, I'm sorry, you will have to go back there to cast your vote.
Well, while all of this continues, what is the current figure of permanent voter cards that are yet to be printed? Or are they all printed now, ready for collection?
I can tell you, Chamberlain, that all the permanent voter cards have been printed. But like I said earlier, in terms of the shipment, we expect about 3 million cards outstanding in by tomorrow or thereabouts. And these cards, immediately they come in, they will be sent to the states where they are intended for. So by Friday, those cards will be in the states for which they have been printed.
So at the moment, because the chairman did say that if push comes to shove, we may have this distribution of PVCs go on until the 13th of February. Is it looking like that now, that is what it may turn out to be?
You see, Chamberlain, the chairman said it that in theory, or in principle, if you like, we could do that if push comes to shove. But honestly, it is hoped that that will not be necessary. You know why? Many of the workers that are involved in distributing the cards, at some point will have to get to work on the procedures of the election. Materials are being deployed right now as we speak. Very soon they will have to take position for work and all that. And so we really expect that if people make use of the time appropriately, by some days into February, we should be through with this and be able to face the work of the election.
All right, thank you, Kayode. We'll come back to you in just a moment. So don't forget, if you have more questions coming through, or if you'd like to send more questions to the CPS to INEC chairman, by all means, go ahead and send it to us. Well, we did tell you that our correspondent across the country, but Larry Lasisi is actually in Abuja, standing by to tell us what is going on where you are, Larry.
Well, just to tell you some of the things that have been happening here in the Federal Capital Territory, I think first of all, it's a very interesting development that we understand from the Independent National Electoral Commission. We have a candidate from the Benue State, that is vying for a seat in the House of Representatives, and it appears he's unopposed. None of the other political parties brought in a candidate or put forward a candidate to contest against him. So according to the INEC, to the Electoral Commission, it appears he's unopposed and more or less will be declared elected on the day of or after the elections. But the commission has also made it clear that that does not mean elections will not hold for that seat. It just means that it will be a yes or no vote, not him against anybody else, since there isn't anybody else. But I can also tell you here that the commission has been meeting with stakeholders, meeting with people that have important roles to play as regards the elections that are coming up next month. The commission met with political parties recently. It was an opportunity to talk about the elections, talk about the preparations, and to generally feel each other out. And I can tell you this is part of a regular part of the meetings they have been having. The political parties have been meeting with the commission periodically since the 2011 election. So this is just one of those kind of meetings. And at the meetings, it was actually a chance to discuss very important issues like the permanent voters cards that have been an issue recently. And some of the political parties there were confident, and they said they believe INEC is working hard. They're confident of all the preparations they put in place. They think they're working hard, and they just encourage them to do better. They also were very clear that they do not think there is any ground right now to ask for a shift in the date of the elections, and they've promised to help the commission speak to Nigerians so that everybody can go out and pick their permanent voters cards and be ready for the elections.
Well, thank you, Larry. Larry Lasisi, our correspondent in Abuja. I imagine that quite a number of politicians would like to be in the Benue politicians' shoes, running unopposed and being declared winner already. Well, don't forget you can keep your comments coming through to us here, hashtag Nigeria 2015, or you can send us an email, nigeria2015@channelstv.com. Well, there are more information to give to you at this time. Indy Thompson is standing by with that one, and she's going to come to us now.
Thank you so much, Chamberlain. Good evening. The drums of campaigns are getting louder and the trains are getting longer. Among other places, it's reached Jos in Plateau State and continues to grow in Imo State. We bring you the story of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Grand Alliance. Flags symbolizing the transformation agenda of the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan colored the presidential campaign train of the People's Democratic Party in Jos, Plateau State capital. The women seemed the most expressive group, as they even created their own separate podium within the stadium venue of the rally. However, at the arrival of their presidential candidate, Goodluck Jonathan, all attention shifted back to the main stage. Before the campaign party continues, the host, Governor of Plateau State, Jonah Jang, makes a plea to INEC on the usage of the temporal voter card.
We have used them before, and it was very successful. And we have also used them on the plateau for 2 local government elections. So we have no problem with the temporary voters card.
Back to the matter at hand, the governorship candidate is formally given the party flag. Then the presidential candidate takes over the podium.
To keep Nigeria one is a tax that must be done. It is not a tax that will be done, it's a tax that must be done. And so nobody can talk about splitting this country. To keep Nigeria one will continue to be a tax that all of us will do it, just like General Gowon did it.
He promises that if re-elected, he will work to return Plateau State to a home of peace and tourism. Meanwhile, the All Progressive Grand Alliance governorship train is covering more ground in Imo State. Ikore local government area is the latest of its campaign ground. Singing and dancing herald the candidate, Captain Emmanuel Iheanacho. He even receives a symbolic welcome from the women. In a bid to enforce the law that will actualize violent-free elections next month, the police are starting putting words into action beginning in Bauchi State. 40 suspects have been arrested by the Bauchi State Command for disturbance of peace and destroying posters of some political parties on January 22nd. While investigation is ongoing, the suspects are in the custody of the police, and the police say this is how they intend to deal with any similar occurrence, and so politicians and their supporters should be warned.
I want to warn the members of the public that the command will not fall its arm and watch people, disgruntled element, breaching the law and order in the state. And the command is fully prepared and ready to deal with any suspect or anybody arrested breaking law and order in the state.
Similarly, the police in Ogun State has read out the Riot Act on election violence to party leaders and obliged them to take the message to their supporters.
Nigeria is a secular state. In the course of the campaign, do not appeal to religious, tribal, and ethnic sentiments. And we have said too that although